So, ladies and gentlemen, I have brought the magfed adapter. As you can see, comes for the project salvo, and all the features that you want to know is going to be described in the video. So what we have is basically just a shell casing that comes together, and the magazine I don't have, I left it home, but when you buy this, it's going to be certain components that you need to take apart. And for those that have the project salvo, the shroud does not work. Yes, if you have the project salvo and you buy one of these, the shroud does not work. So here we're disassembling. Take the two halves apart. Now we have the project salvo to disassemble, which I have taken off the screws. Inside of the marker. Now, what we're going to do is start disassembling the small pieces. So, within my project salvo, the easy pieces, light pieces, fire guard, the small pins for the trigger, there's 4 of these, the spring for the trigger, which you don't want to lose, you also have, I had to put over here, the hammer spring for the cedar, your hammer, which everybody want to know, this is not the stock hammer. This here is the zero kickback hammer. Your cocking mechanism, slide rod for the front bolts. This is your front bolt. This is still stock. This is the plastic one. I'm upgrading to the metal one soon. That should be in the mail this week. You have to take your little ball detent out. Make sure this is okay, because this is what helps the ball fire into the chamber. And last but not least, your chamber and feed line needs to be disconnected. And also I have the response trigger, which also needs to be installed on the new gun. So first I am going to disassemble the response trigger. Alright. So to take off the rear piece, it is a 5/16 that holds on to the piston, sorry, which is this part here. And with taking this out, you're probably going to need a flathead or something flat, because this is kind of wedged in there. So you're gonna need to pry it out or get something to push it out without damaging it. Okay, I pushed on the edge, but right here, mine is already bent, but it's still good. But this is what you're taking out, which is the response trigger. And then here on the valve, this is a 6 millimeter if you have a 6. If not, a flathead can take that screw out, or something flat where I would say a dime. If you don't have a flathead when you're doing this, something with a thin flat surface, just to untwist this little valve here. See? Twist that off. The response line. And last but not least, the valve body, which is your typical Allen keys. You gotta be careful that you don't strip these screws here. Ah, that's one. That's two. So we have now fully disassembled our project salvo. Excuse me, fellas. So, project salvo fully disassembled. Now, let's get our conversion on. So this is the back piece, and certain parts is gonna have to get punched out for the response trigger and everything, which is that little punch circle right here. As you see, I'm going to point to it at a better view, but it is this piece right here where you put the piston through. So once you knock it out, it sits there. But if you have, you're gonna have to cut the hose, as you can see. So you have the project salvo, you're gonna have to cut this hose to make this fitting fit into this. So I'm going to lay this on the table or somewhere to knock this out. Don't do this at home. If you got a nice sturdy surface, you're gonna need like a punch, like they said, to punch out this, line up your piston, which you have the two holes and a valve. See, the two holes and the valve will line up right here and right in here are the two holes to connect this. So go in. You see this silver? That's where the valve holes line up. So we're going to tighten this here, as well as screw kit they have us. So I'll be back.